guys, it's Milk and welcome to my latest video. In this guide, I'm going to teach you the playstyle of Shadowplay and what your role in the comp will be as the Destro Warlock. In this video specifically, I will be playing Shadowplay with a Holy Paladin, but the majority of this video will be applicable for whatever healer you decide to play with. So first, let's talk about the playstyle of Shadowplay. The reason why this comp works is because of the constant damage with both Shadow Priests and Destruction Warlocks. If you train one of them, the other should be able to put out enough damage to still pressure an entire team. This comp is all about spamming as much damage as possible and outlasting your opponent. That being said, you want to make sure that you're always doing damage no matter what. In this clip, due to our poor positioning, where we are unable to get damage out immediately, this means that the warrior and enhancement shaman can do as they please. The warrior sits battle and puts out a ton of pressure. In this clip, we have enough spread pressure to make sure that the warrior cannot sit battle stance. This means that eventually we will put out enough pressure to kill the TSG. So although Shadowplay doesn't really have much CC, there are still opportunities to skill cores with crowd control. In this clip, I'm able to get a fear onto the monk out of a Sin and Punishment. Sin and Punishment is a 3-second fear that occurs when a healer dispels Vampiric Touch. If you know a healer is going to dispel someone, try and be in position to fear him while he is in the Sin and Punishment. It's important to note that this isn't something you should be looking to reliably do every single game. Shadowplay is not a comp that will kill with CC, and you should definitely prioritize doing max damage over looking for crowd control. As the Destro Warlock in Shadowplay, your main goal is to be stopping enemy setups and doing as much damage as possible. I cannot stress enough the importance of not spamming fear. Spamming fear should not be very effective when you play the comp, as everyone should be taking damage and the fears will not last very long. If you have to peel, the most optimal way should be with Havoc Coils, Spell Logs, and immense damage. Particularly as the Focus Chaos version of Destro, people are going to put a lot of emphasis on shutting you down, so peeling with damage is extremely effective. As Destro, you are going to have games against teams where it feels like you can't do anything. This will be because of line of sight. It should be really hard for enemy teams to stay in versus Shadowplay as you both deal ridiculous damage. In this clip, I decide to use my Unending Resolve to avoid being Blood Elf silenced as an interrupt to get damage out, and the Demon Hunter instantly decides to hide with the rest of his team. The best way to deal with people line of sighting you as a Destro Warlock is to play as patiently as possible. Usually, following the enemy team behind pillars is really horrible, as they will still be able to do damage to you while they line of sight all of your damage. If you go in behind the pillar, do not expect to get casts off. In this clip, although I really want to go in to get more damage off, there just really isn't much point as the Paladin is forced to bubble and I will just get line of sighted while I also make life more difficult for my healer. Like I said before, you don't want to be spamming fear as a peel, but fear can serve as an interrupt for important moments in the game. For example, in this clip, my Shadow Priest pushed in too far, putting our Paladin in an awkward position. I use my fear as an interrupt on the Druid so he cannot follow up his Cyclone on my Paladin. Something you can also take advantage of as Destro is that you actually have 3 schools to cast with. In this clip, I cast Fear knowing that the Shaman will win-show it. I then immediately start casting my Chaos Bolt. Note that if you get locked on Chaos Bolt, you will not be able to cast any of your other spells. As Destro, The best way to select targets often comes down to who is in the open and what damage mitigation they have available to them. In this clip, I see that the Shadow Priest is heading to the tomb for line of sight. I also notice that the Shaman swaps Earth Shield from the Rogue to the Priest. Identifying this, I decide to use my Fragility, which forces Cloak. In this clip, I notice that the Monk is in a Mind Bomb stun and decide to cast a Chaos Bolt on him. The reason I go for this is because I know that I probably won't have the opportunity to do damage to him that much in the game, and the Monk is by far the squishiest target on the enemy team. In this clip, we get the Boomkin's Barkskin as well as a Hand of Sacrifice. As the Paladin was in the open, it made a lot of sense to do damage to him because he was taking damage from the sack as well. Thanks for watching the Shadowplay guide, and feel free to ask questions in the comments. Plus skill if you enjoyed, and see you next time.